All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. It sounds like we got sound coming in here. We are good to go. Yes, I can hear everybody and everything. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Embracing Brilliance. I am your host, Dr. Kim, and tonight we are talking about the link between self love and resilience. So, why do we want to know about that anyway? Well, I am speaking mainly to high achieving introverted women of faith here. That's important for us because there are so many things that come at us in life, whether you are a believer or not, and you're experiencing life. One of the points of life is going to be trials, tribulation, trauma, all sorts of things. And your ability to meet your purpose or fulfill your purpose can be affected by that. Whether you get stuck in a situation or if you just are always working, 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 and you never go to the next level with something, which can lead to severe burnout, which we are. This is an anti-burnout station, by the way, and we are anti-burnout, but we are also pro-brilliance. So pro-brilliance, we want a regulated well-being. We want an emotional well-being, and also just this inner light, just this inner drive that knows that everything is going to be okay. And sometimes you have to develop that. Resilience is not something that's innate. It's not a what you have it or you don't type of thing. It is actually built and developed when the challenges come through. And then somehow courage and resilience will only show up in the midst of some type of challenge. There will always be things to happen to you in life that will squeeze you and will show you what you're made of and what's on the inside of you. And I think that's an amazing thing because you get to do this with God. It's not like you're doing this alone. That's the wonderful part about being in the household of faith and trusting God on those things. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We got about 4 people here. Hey, how y'all doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I see you in the comments. Shout out to you. I'm gonna shout you out. You come in my comments. I'm gonna say hello to you. So also I want to greet the replay viewers as well. Hello, hello, hello. So my name is Dr. Kim of Align with Dr. Kim, and here we heal from burnout and create balance so we can express our brilliance all while embracing well-being. And we want the all things well-being. Also, thank you for sharing this. We are about to get started with this. I am going to bring forward to the stage our talk for the evening. Like I said, we're talking about the link between self-love and resilience. By the way, we are on YouTube, so follow me on YouTube. I invite you to subscribe. Every week when I do this, I do a preview link so you can be notified of that. And if you hit the bell notifications, you'll get an alert somewhere on your phone about this. Hi, Andrea. Hey, hey, hey. Hello, everyone who is watching. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing. So, yes. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking as well. And thank you for sharing your comments on here as well and participating in the chat because it lets everybody know that we are live and we are going and we want to show up in as many people's feeds as possible. I also want to announce that, yes, Self-love. Thank you. I also want to announce that the self-love clinic is happening. That's going to go on in about a week from now. So that's going to be on the 27th. No, I'm sorry, the 26th through the 28th. So, self-love clinic, what is that about? Self-love clinic is our opportunity to dive deeper into these topics. Our talk about this month, our topic is self-love. And we want to go deeper into how self love can be healing. Self love helps you grow in your businesses, and you go deeper in relationships through self love. So I've kind of been, around, driving through, setting up the foundation for some things, but I will be hosting that conference. Thank you all so much for staying tuned on the channel. The Eventbrite link will be dropping soon for you to sign up for that. I just wanted to go ahead and drop that out as well. Hello, thank you so much for joining, Mr. Jackson. Tell our niece I said hello. Shout out to Jamaica. She celebrated. This is her birthday month. Woo woo. That's my niece. That's my love. I love her, and I am gonna shout her out as well. Okay, Andrea says she is already excited about the self-love clinic. Awesome. Um, Andrea has been someone who has attended like the past 3 of them that I have done. And I am going to continue this because the vision is bigger than me. And we're also going to talk about how me coming into a space of self-loving myself helped me to own that, that I have to let support in with those things. So first off, let's get started with a question on tonight. So how quickly do you handle things when you come across challenges? How quickly do you handle them? How well do you handle them? Are you the type of person that, you just keep on going, and when a challenge comes your way, hey, Kawana, how you doing? Are you somebody that it takes you a little bit longer? I'm one of those type of people, depending on what it is. Because if I hadn't been through it before and it's something a little tough, and I got to go pray, I got to go hit the prayer closet, we're going to do that anyway, right? But some things you take a little while to go through, especially if you have not had the opportunity or understood the opportunity on what it means to be resilient. I used to always wonder, how do people grow through things or go through things and they just able to pick up and keep going? Like everything in their world just fell apart, just back to back to back events of, traumatic grieving things, and you see them and they're still outgoing and everything. And in the church we say, oh, that person is just divinely blessed, and God has them and they're a strong person. But I also am a type of person where I see things in a little bit different. Everybody that's going through something doesn't always show it. They don't always show it to you or to me. They don't always show it publicly. And I believe that's a skill set. It is. Some of us be out here like, you gonna cry about it or you gonna be a gangster? First of all, I'm somebody that's gonna do both. I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna shed some tears or whatever, and then I'm gonna go be gangster and handle it like I need to, and God gonna give me the strength to do what I need to do. That's just from my experience. But definitely people who go or who are going through things, they have a set of coping skills, or they make a certain level of decisions that help them to navigate through. Andrea said matters of the heart are harder. I agree. She said, oh, here we go. Try to hit it head on when challenges come. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Quickly, you try to get right in there. That's true. A lot of people do suffer in silence. You are right, ma'am. Absolutely so. And I think that can be a dangerous spot to be in. And hopefully on tonight, will have gone through some things to encourage you to reach out and to not be that person that is suffering in silence, and not to do that to yourself, or for you to be that person that reaches out when you see somebody may not be they may not be in their character. whether that's them being quiet or them being really, really, really happy and joyful. Because sometimes people can go through extremes, highs and lows, and that's a sign that, hey, something is going on. Do a wellness check in with your friend. We always say in this community, check on your strong friend. Whether you're a sis or a bro, it's okay to check in with people and say, hey, how you doing? I don't think anything's wrong. I just want to let you know this is a safe space to talk. How are you feeling? How are you doing? And you won't believe how well that will bless some people, and how they see themselves and how they see the world around them. So we're going to talk a little bit about what resilience is. I'm going to talk about emotional resilience. We're going to talk about how self-love is a buffer, kind of like a filter. It's your defense against stress and anxiety in the world, and all those situations that lead you into being resilient, all those challenges. Yes. And then we're going to talk about, what does that look like? What does self-love look like in being resilient, choosing resiliency through self-love? So what is resilience? Okay. Oh, okay. I thought they were in the room. Thank you, Andrea, for tagging people. I appreciate you. Kawana said it's definitely a skill set to be able to keep moving through life while experiencing turbulence. Yes, it's a wonderful skill set to have, right? Emotional resilience. Yeah. So I got my slide up here. So what first off, let's emotional resilience is when you're able to adapt from something stressful, when you're able to bounce back from some type of adversity. So it's like your immune system. I know we say we have immunity in a spiritual plane, but we also have it in a mental plane as well. That looks like how well you cope with challenges, how well do you recover from setbacks, how are you maintaining a positive outlook on life, where are you in your head around those things. So it's not you avoiding the stress or the diversity, but rather it's about you facing them head on. I think Andrea said that earlier. Facing the issues head on is something that a resilient person does. And if it feels like that's not something that you can do, I am going to tell you right now that it is something that you can do. Andrea dropping in the comments a more thorough definition of it, so that way we can go through that. I like that one as well. I like all of that. So that's cool as well. She put ability to adapt, over, bounce back, and facing challenges, recovering from mistakes at work, returning to work after traumatic, eventually coming back in, meeting a deadline. You got to build relationships, connect with friends. Yes, I like that. Practice self-care. We're going to talk about all of those things as well. Thank you so much. So I want to talk about too what role does self-esteem and self-worth play in it. So a lot of times when we're building these things, our self-esteem or our self-worth may not be at a certain level with these things. Or you'll notice that, man, I was resilient in one part in life, but in this part in life, it's a little different. It depends on what the challenge is and how hard it hits it. So where are we in the beginning with this? So your self-esteem, when you got high self-esteem, you believe and you have confidence in yourself, you have confidence in your abilities to overcome whatever challenges that you meet. And it sort of acts like a buffer when you are going through stress, and it helps you to approach things with a positive mindset. Your self-worth is about you about you knowing that you are deserving of self-love. You are deserving of love. You are deserving of love, joy, happiness, and respect. And people, when you operate from that standpoint, you will reach out for support. You will let the love in. You will share things with safe people, of course. And you know that you deserve that even when you're going through tough times. You're able to be kind and more compassionate and sweeter to yourself. Not saying you letting yourself off the hook, but you get real with yourself about things, about how you're feeling, about what you're going through as well. Just checking the comments as well. Hey, Alyssa Marie. She says, I love that. Yes, these are all some wonderful things. Andrea is still tagging people to come on in the room. Thank you so much. She tagging her people. Andrea also said emotional resilience refers to, yep, cope, adapt to, recover from stressful or challenging situations. Right, maintaining emotional well-being in the face of adversity, yes, which can be a challenge, but it's also it's mainly a choice. And I think that's what I am learning as well, that it's a choice to maintain having a positive outlook about things as well, to as we are going through. So having a strong amount of self-esteem, having a healthy self-esteem, that's, you know, what you believe about yourself, how your abilities, your capabilities to respond and maintain a positive outlook, your worth, knowing that you deserve love, happiness, and joy no matter what when you're going through a thing. It helps you to enhance your coping skills because you value yourself, you value your worth, and you choose ways to cope that will solve problems, that will help you, that will bring more value to you. It'll also cause you to reduce negative self-talk. We're going to talk more about positive self-talk as well with this. But we want that better foundation for emotional well-being. We want a great foundation for our emotional well-being because that helps us when it's time to adapt. We don't, in order to face things head on, we have to adapt to the changes that are going on, to the challenges that are around us. Not saying you got to do a whole, 180 or go to a whole different thing, which some people do like to revamp their life. But no, what I'm saying is you bring forward your best even in those moments. Yes, it's an opportunity. That's what I want to say. You look at the challenges as opportunities and ways to develop yourself. Did you know some people, mainly high achievers, they look at things like imposter syndrome, they twist it around, and they not twist it around, they sort of use it as a stepping stone to say, hey, I'm gonna prove to myself I can do this. They kind of gamify it. If you've heard that before, it's like, yeah, I'm really gonna discover how well I can do this thing. And that's, how they continue to go up the scale. That's an amazing mindset. I've always said if I could just peek into some people's minds that do wonderful things and just, hear what their mindset is on those things, I love it. I do. But also having that being in an emotionally, well, a positive emotional place. I'm trying to get the words out, y'all. This is live, by the way. Did you know? Being in those type of places will give you improved relationships, and it also helps you to believe in yourself when you go after things as well. So I'm going, let's see, going back to the comments here. She said, yes, the foundation helps us build proper skills and structure for our lives. Changing the narrative on imposter syndrome. That is a great topic, to change the narrative on the imposter syndrome. All high achievers do. You have to change those negative narratives and on negative stories that consistently play over and over in your head, no matter where they came from. So let's talk about how self-love can act as a buffer. How can self-love help us as we are moving along, when it comes to challenges, challenges and the trauma and the different things that happen in life. So number one, being a compassionate individual, being compassionate towards yourself will help you love yourself, being able to be your own support system. It's like you become your own safe space. When you have enough practices and you know that about yourself and you're able to be your own safe space, meaning you say kind words to yourself, you are accepting of yourself. That's what self-love is, by the way. It's the practice of accepting and valuing yourself. And it's on a different level because you will behave in different ways. It becomes how you are supported. And like I said, you will feel supported everywhere you go, because number one, you give yourself that support and you train other people how to do that as well. And you have a positive view of yourself. When you are able to be a person of self-compassion, you're also able to accept yourself without the judgment. You're able to, you make mistakes and you're guilt free about it. You choose to say no to the guilt because you understand that this is a learning process. You change the story. You change the story about, okay, mistakes, I did this. Yes, of course, you apologize, but you don't let that stain your self image. You give yourself grace and you give yourself room to say, well, this is, something I did. How can I do it differently that next time? It also helps you with emotional regulation. Oh my God, y'all, this is a big one. Emotional regulation, being able to, when something negative or something challenging is happening, being able to lessen the intensity of those negative emotions that come up sometimes. And because it's okay, you're going to experience all ranges of emotions, and that's okay. But being able to come back to a balanced, neutral perspective on something, that's what emotional regulation is. I'm able to come, I have a clear head, a balanced head about something, so I can move forward, so I can see what I need to see. We also will choose, well, I talked about coping mechanisms too. You'll choose those coping mechanisms that are from a place of empowerment, such as I am seeking support on this, or you seek out, you let people know this is what I need support in with this. Or you're able to tell people this is how I can support you, because you understand that, hey, what I have been blessed to do can help take somebody else's vision further, and vice versa. What they've been blessed to do can help me with my vision to go further. We come together, we unify in those things when we're operating from a place of self-love and from abundance. Let me just say that as well. You understand that there's enough for everybody. Everybody eats, everybody can get some. It's, even if we doing the same thing out here in the business world, it's like you're gonna attract or call in, your people are of a certain type of background and where they come from, and my people are. So we can be doing the same thing in the different places, and our voices are going to sound completely different, because there's so much out there and available for everybody. There's no number on anything. It's infinite, right? It's infinite. I know that's going to help somebody. So inner strength through getting the inner strength through self-care. Gaining inner strength through certain self-care practices will obviously help you. Oh my God. Because you're able, through your self-care, you're building your own systems about yourself, right? Your systems that help you, you're building your own internal systems that help recharge you. So, for example, routine and care. That's your journaling, that's your regular exercise. Oh my God, I can't express how well physical exercise will help you. There are thousands of different benefits to regular daily exercise. It's going to help with your dopamine levels. That's the brain chemical that helps you with motivation. It's going to help you feel better about yourself. It helps with your serotonin levels. Oxytocin, that's the love hormone. It's going to do so much for you mentally and to help your energy levels also. Being able to emotionally recharge is one that you need to gain inner strength through the self-care practice. The self-care practice of recharging. What do you do to recharge your batteries? What does joy look like for you? What does it look like when you're able to engage in creative pursuits, when you're able to be around loving people? And did I mention sleep? Let me go back and say that as well. Your quality of sleep that you get, that's related to your physical health as well. That's also going to help boost your energy levels and help you maintain a sense of clarity about things. There are so many things that even if you're making decisions about something, you got a big decision, sleep on it. Go to sleep on it. Take a nap, Go walk around somewhere else, or go to sleep at night and get up in the morning, and you will have a totally different perspective on it just from going to sleep on it. I hope this is helpful. Hey, Andrea said regular exercise helps with your self-love. Yes, it's an activity that you're doing for yourself. And it's also going to help you gain inner strength because you feel better, your body starts to change, and definitely your system is going to work better for you. Your brain's going to work better. Eating better quality of food, the food that you eat, the people that you spend, the people that you allow into your life reflects your level of self-love. That's deep. I don't care what nobody say. The type of people you evaluate your circle, you can definitely tell how well you love yourself and how loving you are by the way that you treat those people and how thankful you are for them. Andrea says sleep is a beautiful blessing. Yes, it is. Oh, we greeting each other in the comments. I love it. But yeah, those are some inner practices. All right. So how do we get to the resilience? What does self-love in motion look like for us when it is coming from what does being resilient look like when it's coming from a space of self-love? Well, it looks like you being compassionate to yourself. It looks like you growing from the challenges. It looks like having a growth mindset and also embracing the imperfections, all of those things. So let's talk about it. Let's go into those. So practicing self-compassion, being kind to yourself without judging yourself, and being able to do this without the guilt and the self-blame. Oh my gosh. So I know you all have heard this before. You treat yourself, you would respond to yourself the same way you would a friend, or if it was the 3-year-old version of you. I watched a short from Terry Crews. He talked about some challenges he was going through and some challenges he was going through with his marriage, and he ended up in an addiction recovery center, and he ended up having to realize that his mindset was very, very negative about himself, because he would say stuff like, oh, you stupid and this is dumb and stuff like that, and he was admitting this. And he said it wasn't until he got a picture of his 6-year-old self and said, would you say the same thing about this little boy? He said, no, he's just 6 years old. He's just a kid. And he said he got the revelation from God that you never stop being that 6-year-old kid. That 6-year-old kid is still on the inside of you. So I want you to think about that whenever you being down on yourself or had a negative response about something, you're not feeling so great. Think about the 5-year-old version of yourself. Go back and get those pictures. Your healing starts with you talking about your inner childhood journey and realizing that you are still, a part of you is still that inner child. Your nervous system in your body still remembers how you felt as a 6-year-old kid. I know our bodies change and we grow up, but that person, those experiences are still within you. And when we talk like that to ourselves, we come to a place in life where it's hard to receive any other type of encouragement because we're being so discouraging to ourselves. But this is where the practice of self-compassion comes in, and you can start to change those things. You change how you look at yourself. You change the things you tell yourself. You understand that at no point did you stop being that 6-year-old. At no point did you stop being that 15-year-old. At no point did you stop being that 20-year-old. Because some of us have some inner 15 and 18-year-olds as well that we are still reparenting and loving and taking them through things. We have to mature all parts of it. This is emotional resilience and where it's coming from. So being able to forgive yourself as well when you do those things without the guilt, and understanding that everyone makes mistakes. Give yourself permission to be human. This is what it means to be human in life. And the part of you that may be holding yourself hostage and blaming you and being guilty, it may not even be your voice. There may be a voice you heard, a teacher, a parent, a guardian, something like that, that you've got constantly replaying in your head. You can change the narrative. You can tell that version of yourself what you need to hear. Self-love is being resilient. Yes. A refresh. I just said this. Yes. This morning. Association that brings assimilation. Oh, I like that. Yes. Andrea said, my therapist had me to do a lot of self-compassion exercises. I didn't think it was necessary, but when I tell you it blessed me, Andrea, I can hear you saying that. Yes, yes, it is a blessing. Derek said, healing your inner child. Absolutely. We got to, man. We have to. Those parts of us are still within us and asking us to listen, asking us to have that experience, or else, because when we avoid, like I said, these are the challenges. If that's your coping mechanism of avoiding with your emotions, it will eventually come back up. And y'all, I can't tell y'all how many times I've seen this in my own private practice, and even in the practice that I have now. People that carry so many pain disorders and problems in their bodies, and it relates to something emotional. I was working with a young lady today, and she has fibromyalgia. And those of you all who have fibromyalgia, the pain syndrome, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every fibromyalgia patient that I've ever had, it all relates back to something in a relationship somewhere that they went through, and something was just tumultuous about it. And it's like they took it on within their bodies. It was some type of trauma, and they weren't able to express it. They mainly internalized it, so much so till it became, they call it an autoimmune syndrome. It's a syndrome because they really don't have a name or anything for it. It's just a collection of symptoms that happen. But okay, either way, I work with her. She was definitely experiencing a lot more pain and tension in her body because her stress levels were going up. And we were talking about, some things she could do with that, some things she could do physically. And I always try to take a moment to help my patients breathe. It helps their adjustment go better. And then sometimes, who are they going to that's telling them, hey, just pause and breathe. It's okay. Let's just stop and take a moment, because they think they're taking up my time. I don't care who else is sitting out there, because, just like you paid to be here and to come be here, I'm here for you right now in this moment. So I try to have more mindful moments with my patients. And that lady was almost to the point of tears. She hugged me so hard. That hug and that physical touch for her was healing for her. And I stopped and I made sure she got to experience that day, because I don't know when the last time she had a hug. I don't know when was the last time, her nervous system, somebody helped regulate her nervous system. And yeah, that's a lot of the problems that we had as children or as teenagers or adults. We gone on and on and on in these challenges and in these situations, and we never had anybody to stop and help us regulate our bodies, to regulate our emotions, to understand what resilience is. And that's where all of the other negative coping mechanisms come in. Food is a coping mechanism. um Being with different people all the time can be a coping mechanism, especially when it has a negative response on you. Anything that's going to lead to danger or harm. And sometimes people choose those things to help with their drugs, of course. Well, I shouldn't say that probably on here, but people take different medications, I will say that, for those type of things. But having a sense of self-compassion also helps you become more compassionate to other people as well. And if you are in a serving profession, which I know a lot of you are, you serve a lot of other people in your work and stuff like that, you're able to have more compassion upon them. And it's like it builds a compassion community, and we need that. Y'all, I spent so much time for that. Andrea said, wow, this is so needed for people with fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia, depression, I can tell you about so many of them that I see different issues and stuff that people have. Yep. Yeah, you had a diagnosis a while ago. Yeah, your hip pain. Yes. She said going to a chiropractor soon. Yes, ma'am. Chiropractic can definitely help with pain management. It's all natural as well. Let me know, Fab. I can try to help you see if I can find somebody near you as well that may be able to help you also, or do my best to tell you what you need. I don't mind talking to you and sharing that information with you. So being able to grow, choosing to grow from challenges, that is a choice when we choose to grow from the challenges. And we can reflect on how do you do that? You reflect on the experience and you learn, you look at it and say, what did I learn from this? Or what is this teaching me? Or what did I learn from this opportunity? How is what has happened now is something that I can use in the future? We can also seek support when we have challenges that have happened to us, people that will help us to grow. I know earlier this year I was talking about looking for my expanders, people that help me get out of my comfort zone, or expand. I like to say expanding my comfort zone because, like everybody else, I like to be comfortable. But people that help me expand my comfort zone. But looking for people and organizations and things who can support me, that's choosing to grow from the challenge. It's like, hey, let me phone a friend. Hey, let me see if I can get some help from this. And getting help from people who are non-judgmental, people who are loving. If they are not loving, or that's a boundary I said for myself. If this person is not loving, they are not understanding, I'm gone. I'm not going to tolerate it, because they're not able to see me. They're not able to value me, and they're not going to be of any help. I'm wasting their time and mine. But that's a boundary I know that I have. I have learned, don't try to make them people support me. Don't keep asking them different things. If it's a coach or something you with and they just are a therapist, get another one. It's the same thing. You seek support, and sometimes your first person that you seek out and that you get won't always be the exact one, or they may help with certain things, but you can always move on. That's resilience. That's your opportunity for resilience, because this is the thing. It is commonly misunderstood. People think you just got this high level of persistence and you just, I'm going to do all or none, which that is commendable. It is. But there is no reward for exhausting yourself. There's no reward for exhausting yourself. Resilient people are adaptable. They adapt to what's going on. Oh, I can't get this here. Let me go to looking for other things that I can go, because I still want to meet this outcome, or I want to meet this goal. Let me see what else I can do. They get excited about it. Okay, let me look up and go to seeing around. And this is where the self-worth and the self-value comes in, that I am worthy of, getting through this. Well, I believe that I can get through this. It's going to happen for me. And that's another personal development thing that we all know in this industry, is that your mind will do and it will see whatever you allow it to see. So if you set your mind on finding the right thing for you, that's what your brain is going to start looking forward to. In the spirit, that's what you're going to start tapping into, because that way will be open to you. We just got to talking about abundance. And when you speak those things, you position yourself for those things, you are a receiver for that now. You instantly become a receiver for those things. And I think we have to get used to having the thing and understand that we can have that level of support, so we can actually receive it and we won't fight it off. How many times have we said no to the thing that actually showed up to help us? But being resilient, coming out of those things, coming out of choosing to stay stuck in a challenge and choosing to grow from it, to learn from it. What does having a growth mindset look like? Oh, let me check in with y'all. Compassion communities is needed. Yes. Fab said yes because I stopped taking meds 2015. Okay, okay, I got you. Hi, Pastor Sam. She said the right support is needed. No, I'm sorry. Pastor Sam said the right support is essential. It is essential. Essential, meaning it cannot be left out. It cannot be negotiated. It is essential to have the right support. Okay. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Andrea said expanders. She said, right. They continue to adapt in any situation. Yeah, adaptability is what resilient people do. Okay, so many different areas of self-worth. Whew, yes. Yes. I'm glad we had that talk so we could see how it's woven in your self-worth and the behaviors that you will do. And it's okay to work on, your self-worth. And this is why I'm having this conference and things where we can talk about your levels of self-love and how to heal things so you can actually see and know and believe that you deserve love. You deserve joy. You deserve happiness, even when it's dark outside. And even if it's not right there at that moment and coming to you, you can be your own source of it by doing things that make you feel happy, doing things that make you feel loved. Those are the things that we are trying to get across to people through this talk, through all of these type of things. So thank you for your comment. I appreciate you so much. I do. But we're talking about having a growth mindset. This is what being resilient from a place of self-love looks like. This is your strength. You having a growth mindset means that you are embracing the learning. You are adapting to change, and you are looking for you are looking for positive outcomes. You're staying consistent on your goals. You're going forward in those things, even when you got a setback. And even though you recognize that things may take time, you're still focused on going forward and having your success. You stay true to the vision, but you may change the strategy on a thing. That's what resilient people will do. They use the opportunities to grow themselves and to say, hey, let me reframe and learn how to change my mindset on these things. Let me see what I can learn from this. And I want to say this as well, having a growth mindset in this space, I have learned in the entrepreneurship space when you are working on things. I used to have a mindset of, well, okay, if I don't know how to do it, let me learn how to do it. Learn how to do it, but then delegate it out. So that way you'll know what you're looking for, you'll know what response you want, and you'll be able to communicate the things that you want done for yourself as well. So I had to, and that was a level of growth as well, is how to not be your own ceiling, how to grow from being the solopreneur to being a person that delegates, so you can not only just communicate your vision, manage your vision, but you can actually make more progress in your vision because you're able to multiply yourself and multiply your efforts as well. So having that growth mindset goes beyond just the way you're thinking, but it's also in the actions that you are executing to get to the place that you need to get to. We are on talking about the point of embracing imperfection. Andrea said embracing healing, adapting to change, focused on moving forward equals growth mindset and resilience. I love that. Yes, and stay tuned for more details on the self-love clinic. Kawana said it looks like being courageous enough to do the work on self that it takes to make the necessary changes and adjustments. Those changes and adjustments are always it's something that we always have to do, right? We have to make those little tweaks along the way, working on different things so we can get to where we want to get, right? I love that. Fab said, that's good. Learning to delegate, finding help, knowing our limitations. Yeah, well, those are our expanders. If I come into a limit, I'm like, there's somebody that God has anointed to do this work. And I'm like, I will realize quickly, okay, this is not my zone of genius. Just because I can do it does not mean I can do it well. Or just because I can do it doesn't mean I can do all and everything all at once, even though I be wanting to sometimes. I have to, yeah, recognize my limits, and I have to set boundaries. And that's a loving thing to do for yourself. And that's still valuing yourself. It is. And you value even greater the next person near you. So embracing your imperfection, what does that look like? So we talked about resiliency practices from self-love, doing it from a place of self-love. We talked about practicing self-compassion, growth from challenges, developing a growth mindset and what that looks like. And also now, what does it look like to embrace imperfection? This is a tough one for a lot of us. I know for me, I didn't even know I was being perfectionistic with a thing. I just thought I had a standard about something. But when I became too stressed out about it, about trying to meet those things and get there, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to pull back on this. Something is going on. So I learned that you cut off your levels of creativity because I noticed I wasn't able to flow in a thing, especially when I had my mindset, it has to be like this. It has to look like this type of way. And I was wanting it to, it's like, okay, let's be flexible here. I had to learn how to do that. That's something that we can do. Embracing your imperfection helps you. Well, first, you have to accept the flaws, that things may be flawed. Nobody is perfect. None of us are perfect. We only know Jesus was the only perfect person that walked the earth that we know of. But we accept our flaws in everything. You know, it's okay to have a flaw. It's okay to be human. Flaws help us connect to other people. Flaws can help us to, well, yeah, connect to other people, as in we have a shared common experience. And also because I will have a limit on something and I will need to go out and find help with that thing. And so I go out and I find it, right? The other thing when we're dealing with people when it comes to perfectionism is the tendency to compare. Letting go of comparison is another thing. Everybody has their own lane. Everybody is on their own clock. When we look too much into somebody else's lane, we will crash into something on ours, or either we will not get that far. So everybody has their own thing that they're doing, their own schedule that they're on. And I liked somebody, one speaker who said, I can't compare my chapter 2 to their chapter 45. And that humbled me. I was like, there are so many things that people have gone through. Like I looked at Ariana Huffington. I just love her story. She talks a lot about self-love and self-care because she built Huffington Post as a woman by herself. Well, not by herself, but it was her vision. And she developed it over the years. And she was somebody who went through severe burnout. I mean, to the point of having to go to the emergency room because her body was literally giving off signs. Hey, you are not doing well. You passing out, all of these other gruesome things that her body went through, all because she was not caring for herself. She was working like all of these different deadlines, trying to get this big vision pushed out. And I was like, wow, Ariana Huffington is somebody who really understands what it is to embrace self-care, self-love, well-being, emotional, mental, physical well-being, so you can have longevity in your journey and also meet your goals and serve other people. If you got this big huge vision, you need to be well. You need to be well in your mind, your body, and your soul with this in that journey. So going forward with that, when we are embracing the imperfections, we're able to allow ourselves to create, allow ourselves to be ourselves without any judgment, even from within. And we give ourselves the freedom to be our authentic selves. All of those type of things. I'm gonna close out of that one. Oh, I'm already closed out. Hi. It's already us here. So I want to check back in the room. Fab said, right, help me, Jesus. She said, that's good. Learning to delegate. Finding out limitations. Okay. Kawana said it was tough for me too. I'm growing in this area for sure. Yes, I think it's something that we can heal from. It's definitely things that we can heal from. Understanding what our limits are, understanding how we place limits on our own mind. This is something that we're gonna talk about in the self-love clinic too. We have a therapist, one of my favorite therapists. She's gonna be talking to us about that also. I wanted to share make sure we understand that our self-care practices are greatly important with our development and growing with everything. Resilience is a beautiful thing. Being resilient, it helps you learn to be resilient in the face of challenges. And we learn to face those challenges head on. We don't avoid them, but rather we believe that we are capable. We believe that we are worthy of getting through that thing. And did you know you can even make and set goals when you are in challenges? You can set a goal for yourself. You can set boundaries for yourself when you're in the face of challenges. I will not let this destroy my self-worth. I will not let this change how I see, insert your name here. I will not allow this to make me feel bad about myself. I will not talk bad about myself through this. I give myself permission to love myself through this. You give yourself goals. Hey, I'm going to find somebody that I can reach out to today to talk about this. I know this is a time of year where, yes, we're celebrating Black History. We're celebrating so many other things. It's American Heart Month. So many other celebrations and different things I can't think of right now. I know here on the coast people are getting ready for Mardi Gras, and it's just so much going on in the world right now. So many things that we can, distract ourselves with, but definitely, take care of yourself. And if you notice that you aren't as resilient as you want to be in certain challenges, it's okay. Give yourself the space that you need to grow, to process, and to develop. And yes, you can also set that goal. It's like, hey, I'm not going to stay in this emotional place for the next 6 months. I'm going to work at this, and the way I love myself, the way I learn about emotional regulation, all of that is going to change. All of these things you can tell yourself and work on them and work through them as you're coming out of a challenge. If you meet certain challenges all the time, I'm going to go find a support group that I can join. Some people in safe spaces where I can talk about this and not be judged, because I need to practice not being judged. Those are great goals to make for yourself when you're in those spaces as well. But I really hope that this has been helpful to you. I'm going to check the comments here again before we go. Yes, Kawana says she's growing. Derek said, I've learned that you are your biggest projects. You have to work on yourself first. Yes, we are a work in progress. All of us are going somewhere, and I always say everybody gonna end up exactly where they're supposed to be. Everybody's gonna end up where they're supposed to be, and that's what helped me. I was like, everybody's gonna be okay. They may not accept it, but I do, and I even tell myself that I am gonna make it to where I need to be. I hope this has been helpful on tonight. If you have any questions, definitely drop them in the comments. If there's something else that I need to go into that you want to hear about, please let me know. We are going to be announcing and getting that information out about the self-love clinic. It is no cost to you. Invite a friend. There will be a link for that coming soon. And I have appreciated I appreciate you all. Can y'all tell this almost is close to my bedtime? Thank you, Fab. Fab said very helpful. Thank you. You are so welcome. And Andrea said, thanks for sharing this today. Very informative and helpful. Yes, I hope this has been helpful. I hope y'all find these self-care and self-love practices to be something that you already have in your arsenal, and that, you know, your resilience levels are building in your day-to-day practices that you have, however you know, choose to do that. But I will see you all in the next one. Continue to embrace your brilliance.